I was 7. That was 83 years ago. But even then, I knew my eyes did not lie. That pasty white lump sitting in a cooler case, wrapped in plastic, it was a chicken. The sign said so. Well, I was holding my dad's hand in a Grand Union on Washington Heights. He called this organized jumble of boxes, cans, produce, meat, and what passed for bread a supermarket. But who ever heard of a headless, footless, bare-naked chicken? Mom wasn't with us. She and my kid sister were doing the real shopping. In their world, chickens with heads were hanging by their necks on hooks. They had feet and were covered with brown mottled feathers. Dead to be sure, but you could recognize them. She shopped at the Jewish butcher, except when they argued about too many pin feathers left after the bird was plucked. Then she went to the Italian butcher right across the street. The sawdust on the floor, the butcher block, and the layout was the same. So was the chicken. I didn't figure the chicken cared much who killed it. But then there was the produce store owned by my friend Frankie Russo's dad, and the bakery run by Walter Bodenstein's family. Vinnie Apicella's father was a fishmonger where Mom got her fin food ground for gefilte fish. There was Dave's Delicatessen, the appetizer store, the Baltic Bakery, and Frischling's Market. It sold canned goods, milk, butter, and eggs. They were the gastronomic heart of the neighborhood. People feared the supermarkets would put them out of business. But then, who would Mom argue with? And where would all our friends and neighbors go? Miami? Eventually, but not yet. Now you got to remember, Mom and the other women who stayed with their stores were married during the Great Depression. They practiced frugality like it was a religion. And so on Saturdays, Dad got a list of canned goods that was on sale at the A&P in Grand Union. As I got older, I went to one with half the list. Dad went to the other. But we both got a stern warning from Mom. Don't walk past Frischling's with bags on the way home. What, was Carl Frischling's father supposed to think that our family lived on nothing but milk and eggs? Besides, when I looked for my first job, I was 12. I went to Mr. Frischling and asked for work. Pointing, he said, "Sure, take those cases to the back and stack them on the floor." I almost got a hernia. Nothing budged. Well, seeing my disappointment, he told me he'd save the job until I get older. I don't think the supermarket would have done that. But then, finally, it had to happen. Frischling's, Apicella's, the bakery, all the rest, came to the end of their days. Now, it wasn't the supermarkets that had anything to do with their demise. It was a demand for changing flavors that rolled the dice. The old Jews, Italians, and Irish, well, they retired. And with Mom and Dad among them, moved like a herd to warmer climes. Miami Beach looked like a clone of Washington Heights. But then, an amazing thing happened. On assignment in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, I was looking for the best eatery in town. Go to Wegmans, I was told. A supermarket? Well, the voice again said, "Wegmans, down by the river, go." I went. A food court like I had never seen. It boasted traditional comfort food and more complex dishes that were works of art, all cooked in the store by professional chefs. The supermarket, well, it was wrapped around the eatery. It held virtually every store I knew as a kid. There was a bakery that spun out incomparable bagels. Locke's was nearby. The butcher shop displayed custom cuts. An amazing display of fresh seafood sported heads and tails. Produce included baby bok choy. It was a groaning, vored version of the Land of Oz. But the chicken, it was still naked and headless. Oh boy, so plump.